Chuki beat. Chuki beat.
Welcome back to B2B, Back to Basics with DIY Mixers Crew. I'm your host, Shake and Vape 007, along with Folk Art. We got somebody new here today, Black Mamba. He's going to introduce himself in a couple minutes, but it's great to be back, guys, from that little break that we had. Today, we're going to be talking about flavor pairings. It's one of my favorite topics to talk about. We will get in depth on some of our favorites. And, it's just our recommendations. And if you guys have any questions, you guys or gals have any questions out there in the chat, please feel free to ask them. Make sure you put at B2B or at DIY Mixers Crew. Please also, if you enjoy our content, please click that like button and subscribe to our channel. Be sure to take advantage of the crew's discount codes. Use DMC6 for BullCityFlavors.com and get 6% off your total order, and Mixers Crew for 15% off your total order at LiquidBarn.com. Also, check us out on Facebook, Discord, and our Zoom Room Live. You can always catch us in there after our shows. Just sit there and, talk shop with us. Come join us on there after the show for maybe about a half hour. The links will be down in the comments. Awesome. So let's get started real quick before we begin, Black Mamba. I want to give a shout out to Folk Art for being in the top 5 for the DIY or die.
Yeah, recipe. Number 5. I've never been so thrilled to come in last.
Hey, that's good, man. Hey, I look up to you now. Well, I think what we're going to do, instead of calling us DIY Mixers Crew or B2B Back to Basics, I think we're going to say Folk Art and Friends from now on.
Right.
I think that's what it's going to be. Yeah, but for you guys out there that really are just getting into mixing or just coming off a commercial, you enjoy the Boss E-Juice. Check that recipe out on alltheflavors.com and give it a mix. I'm telling you what, the flavors that he uses in there, it's a simple recipe for you guys. Mix it up, and I'm telling you what, You will not be disappointed. It is delicious. So we're going to be talking about flavor pairings today. But before we get started, Black Mamba, why don't you introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us what kind of profiles you like, and what you want to learn about mixing, this, that, and the other. We'll go from there.
What's going on, people? Like he said, I'm Black Mamba. I'm from Richmond, VA. Started vaping about 4.5 years ago. Now I'm trying to get into mixing and things like that. What do I want to know about mixing? I want to know everything about mixing. I want to be on the top. I'm trying to build myself, trying to get up there, trying to be where I need to be. Other than that, there's not really much to say.
So what are your some of your favorite profiles that you like to vape?
Some of my Some of my favorite profiles are mainly going to be dessert flavors. I really like dessert flavors or pastry flavors. I'm really not too keen on fruit flavors because most of the fruit flavors that I've had has been too much fruit. But hey, maybe that'll change in the near future.
Yeah.
Well, that's one of the wonders of do-it-yourself. You can do it the way you want, the way you like it.
Yeah, and I'm going to tell you. You've been vaping for a long time. You said about 4.5 years, which is pretty cool. And you know what? And I've learned this in mixing, over the years, that you can't be biased about certain flavors because doors open up. We just like with the tobaccos and stuff. I've been experimenting with some tobaccos, and we've talked about it previously this past Sunday on a regular show. And I tell you what, I'm really enjoying them. You know what I mean? It's just about experimentation. And even when we start talking about flavor pairings, experiment. That's what makes DIY mixing fun and exciting, and what gets you involved and enveloped in it. And it takes a hold of you. Once you hit that stage in mixing, it takes you away. It's just like a sickness, in my opinion. But anyhow, so Volkart, we came up with some flavor pairings that we're going to share with some of the new mixers out there in the community that are joining us tonight. So let's talk a little bit about the flavor pairings we got. I think we're going to start off with some dairy cream and fruits, I believe.
Yeah.
Dairy cream and fruits. So why don't you take it away on that?
Okay, so for me, I like to pair any type of creams or dairies with some type of a fruit. One of the most popular is a strawberries and cream profile. It's probably the number one seller of all e-liquids is strawberries and cream. So with creams or dairies, it's good to pair them with some type of like a tart fruit or a sour type of fruit, like a strawberry or possibly maybe even like a lemon, something that will cut through that milk, that creaminess. That seems to be some of the most popular things. So one fruit that goes good with dairies would be strawberries. And my suggestion is, this is just a starting point with strawberries, is to take TFA vanilla bean ice cream at like 4% and use Cap Sweet Strawberry at around 3%. That seems to be like a standard kind of strawberry kind of mix. And with your creams, you could go with something like TPA vanilla bean ice cream at 4 and Cap New York cheesecake at 1%. And that would be like your cream base. And then you put that strawberry in there. There's those two strawberries in there. And that's just a simple, good strawberry and cream vape. That's my suggestion.
And that goes back to when back to basics. That goes back to when we talked about fizz mustards.
Yeah.
His basic recipe that he had with the TFA vanilla bean ice cream and the strawberry. It goes back to that. Pairing those two together, you get a delicious vape. 2 flavors. That's all you need, guys.
Yeah.
And I totally 100% agree with you, on the vanilla bean ice cream and the New York cheesecake at 1%. They really go. The creams normally go. It's with a tart. or some type of fruit. I totally agree with that.
You can,
moving on.
You can also you can also add maybe a little bit of Greek yogurt into that cream if you're looking for a little bit of tartness or a little bit of sourness to it. TFA Greek yogurt works really good, but you want to use it at a low percentage. You don't want to go too high on that.
So I see that you used the TFA Greek yogurt to add a slight sourness.
Yeah.
What about maybe throwing in some Capella's Greek yogurt for more of a cream? Because I always feel that like a Capella's Greek yogurt, I get more of a creaminess out of a Capella's Greek yogurt than like a sour note from that, like a complement, to another cream that you can add. And it's all about experimentation, guys, for you new mixers out there. And also, with the fruits with, Capella strawberry 2%, you got the strawberry ripe, that you can always throw in there 2%. Yeah. You got peaches. Let's talk about peaches a little bit. Pairing of peaches. What do you think that would be good for like a pairing with like, 2 peaches to maybe come up with a peach stone or a strawberry stone or something like that? And what we mean by stone new mixers is, you kind of mix 2 or 3 flavors together and you pair them together and you create a base stone for a recipe, and it goes back to when we talked about like blueberries and stuff like that. If there's a blueberry or a strawberry or peach out there that really doesn't hit that spot for you, pair it with another peach or pair it with another strawberry. Like if you're using a strawberry or like another blueberry, if you're using a blueberry, pair it with another blueberry to kind of get that blueberry where you want it. You know what I mean? That's what we're talking about is pairings. So with peaches, what would you consider like maybe 2 peaches out there that are on the market that the new mixers can get from vendors out there that you think that would pair well together? What are you thinking on that?
The TPA
cream and white peach, maybe.
Yeah, that would work. I mean, there's a lot of different peaches to choose from. My go-to is TPA Peach Juicy. And pairing it with like that at 2%, and then using the FA Peach White at 2%. Okay. And those two in combination seem to make a pretty authentic peach, and they go wonderful with the cream base, with the vanilla bean ice cream and the Cap New York cheesecake to make peaches and cream. Yeah. Pretty simple.
And that's the thing with and that's the thing for the new mixers out there, that want something. It's like, and it goes back to like I said before. I know I'm repeating myself, but for the new mixer, this is the knowledge that you guys got to soak in. You get that cream base that you want, and then you throw those fruit pairings together. Any way you want, and you can get a good, delicious vape. Now, me personally. I always found when I was a new mixer, I found blueberry. That was very hard for me to pair, to try to get a good blueberry. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And Lewis agrees with me on this. This is the one thing I think that me and Lewis actually agree on when it comes to mixing. He's such a fan of Capella's cake batter, but me, yeah, you laugh now, cry later. But anyhow. So the blueberry, you got the bilberry, the blueberry extra, you put that combo together, you pair those 2 blueberries together, you got yourself a wonderful blueberry.
Yeah, and that's a problem too with some of these fruit flavors, is that just by themselves, just a single flavoring, it's not exactly what you're looking for. That's why you're having to put 2 of them together to really get it to where you want it. And that all comes from experimentation and also looking on some of the forums, what other people are using, looking on all the flavors to see what other people are using to make their fruits and creams. So that's a good place to go, all the flavors.
Now, to touch on our next subject, we're going to be talking about a banana and strawberry. Now, for me personally, when you were talking about, doing the experimentation and incorporating 2 flavors together. Now, me personally, I am a super, super huge fan of Flavor West banana. I mean, I know a lot of people out there in the community might say, what the hell is shaking talking about. But Flavor West banana for me, I love it because I can use that concentrate, at different percentages. I can use it super low to where I can get that outer rind flavor, of it, and then maybe like some kind of like a creamy milkiness if I'm putting it in a cereal or like that, all the way up to a high percentage of maybe like 5 to like 6.5% to where I can get a candy flavor out of that percent. I really, really enjoy Flavor West banana. But getting back to the banana and strawberry combo, so what are you thinking as far as the banana and strawberry combination as a flavor pairing on some of the concentrates, some of the companies out there that you could pair together?
Well, before I comment on that, I was wanting to know if Black Mamba had any questions about what we've covered so far. Is it making any sense? Is it confusing?
Yeah, it's making a little bit sense. No, it's not confusing me at all. It's making a little bit of sense. I'm trying to get basically the gist of everything. Now talking about banana and strawberry. Sorry for interrupting.
No,
but
please do.
I don't know. Like, I'm trying to be like kind of like exotic a little bit with banana and strawberry. I mean, like everybody has a banana and strawberry. So, I mean, what else is out there but strawberry?
You can pair many fruits. You can
use, for instance, red fruits like raspberry, blackberry.
You could do an apple. You could do like a Fuji apple from Flavor Art, and you can pair it with like a dragon fruit. These are some of the flavors that we can talk about, going on. But these are just like the basic flavors that you can pair together.
Okay.
So it's just like every day, like when you go into a grocery store and you go into the pudding aisle, you like in your face, you see strawberry and banana. And, that's one of the things that people see every day. I mean, it's basic pairings of fruits. Now, if you want to get more exotic, yeah, no problem. We can talk about that. We're going to cover some of the basic, flavor, pairings right now. And then I think what we should do to answer some of your questions is after we go over these flavors, there's really a few more. We can start talking about the more exotic flavor pairings, going forward.
Okay. I'm not.
Go ahead.
I'm not saying that I have a problem with strawberry and banana, because strawberry and banana it's delicious.
Oh, it is. It is.
It's an amazing flavor. I mean, you could put strawberry and banana in just about anything.
Oh yeah. Oh, you got apricots, you got acai, you got blackberry. I mean, you got like just citruses, lemons. I mean, everything that we can
orange. Banana is delicious with orange.
Yeah, I mean, but these are just the basic back to the basic flavors.
Okay.
The new mixer out there. So bananas and strawberry. I'm thinking, with the bananas and strawberry, I see TPA, bananas and cream, and maybe a Capella's sweet strawberry. So, what do you feel the percentages are good, to come up with a pairing for that, folk art?
Well, I normally use the TPA banana cream at about 2 to 3%. That seems to be kind of the sweet spot for me. And of the bananas, of the bananas that I've tried, that's the best one because it has a creaminess to it that is some of the other bananas, to me, kind of taste like banana runt candy, if you know what I'm talking about. There's little candies, and it's like a real artificial kind of banana. And with the TFA banana cream, it's just a little more authentic, I think. So I would use it around 2 to 3%. The strawberry, you can use any strawberry. I've recently used FA Juicy Strawberry, and that seems to be a really good one. Or you could use the TFA and the Capella strawberry combo to try to come up with an authentic strawberry. But you can use any of these different flavorings together. These are just suggestions, but the banana cream I would use at about 2 to 4%, something like that.
Hey, folk art, is there any way you could switch over to your?
Are we having lag?
Yeah, we're having some big time lag. Okay. So, is there any way you could switch over to your wireless?
Hold on.
So while he's doing that, I'm going to type in the chat to make sure we're switching to wireless. So anyhow, yeah, getting back to what Folkart was talking about, the banana and strawberry. So he was talking about the TFA banana cream at like maybe 2 to 3%, I believe it was. And then a Capella strawberry, he was talking about like 2%. Now, you can maybe use this as a cream base. And this is the thing about banana, about pairing banana with other things. I like that to kind of give it that more creaminess and kind of give it that more, that to kind of give it that fruity aspect. I can put that in there. So how are we looking on the wireless connection there? Are we pretty good to go on that?
We're all hooked up, ready to go.
All right. So hopefully you guys out there in the chat, hopefully, thanks for pointing that out to us. Hopefully it's not going to be lagging as much now. I restarted it in my my YouTube on my wireless to make sure that's going good. So the next topic we're going to be talking about, what is it? Was it custard or apple?
We can talk about either one, just whatever you want to.
So what do you think about the custard?
Well, you're the custard guy.
Well,
why don't you talk about the custard?
I like to pair that with other creams, not too much fruits. I'm just a more straight custard type of guy.
Well, I haven't done a whole lot of just straight custard vapes. I've done like one that I wasn't that impressed with. But most of the time when I use custard, like Capella's vanilla custard, I use it as an accent in, say, like something that I want a little bit of egginess in. Say like I don't know, maybe an eggy ice cream, or I'm losing my train of thought here. But the Capella vanilla ice, the vanilla custard, I use for egginess in some of my recipes. That's mainly what I use it for. And if you add butterscotch to it, that seems to give it a richer depth to it as well.
Yeah, I mean, I really dig custards. Anything custard, I really enjoy. But this is kind of a basic show, so I'm not really going to get in depth on some of the things that I use to pair with my custards. That's more, off topic. But as far as like a basic, with the custards and stuff like that, like with you were mentioned the Capella vanilla custard at 1.4%. If you couple it with a butterscotch ripple or any type of other butterscotch, like maybe 1 or 2%, you can add those two together to kind of get yourself a nice, creamy base for a custard to kind of give it more of a butter feel. You can even throw maybe, some Capella's butter. I'm a super huge fan. Back in the day when I first started mixing, you had Capella's butter, and then when Capella came out with buttercream, I think that just made the show. It kind of took the reins over, the Capella's butter, and buttercream kind of took its place because, you get that creaminess and that butter flavor from it, and you couple it with, vanilla VCV1, vanilla custard. That's very enjoyable. Those two together, they pair very well together. Very, very well.
Yeah.
And getting on to some more fruits, we got apple and pear. And this is one of my favorites. You have Mullenberry's Eden Apple. I really, really, really enjoy that flavor. It kind of reminds me of a subtle flavor art Fuji apple, but it's not as like chemically like when you first mix it. So kind of you don't have to steep it. You know what I mean? It's one of those flavors that's very, very enjoyable.
Yeah.
And if you pair it with FA pear, flavor arts pear, you know what I mean? You add that pear to it to kind of accent, to bring out that apple. They pair very well together. So I'm thinking maybe Mullenberry Eden Apple at like 3%, and then, plus flavor art pear at 1%. Add those two together. You got yourself a phenomenal.
Yeah, it's a really juicy apple, crisp apple, and that pear adds a little bit of that juiciness to it. And And it also adds just a little bit of texture as well, I think.
Yes,
Yeah.
it does. It does.
Yeah.
So, moving on to some more fruits. We're going to keep on going with the fruits. We have the strawberry. Strawberry, like we talked about earlier in the show, it's one of those more sought after, chased after flavors out there in the DIY community. For you mixers out there, and that's one of the things I know when I first started mixing. I know I was chasing a strawberry, and I tell you what, I've been mixing for a while, and I still chase it. I still chase the freaking strawberry, no matter what. And with this next pairing, you got the strawberry and dragon fruit, and this is Black Mamba. This is what we were talking about, like more exotic type of, fruits, like a dragon fruit. That's more of a, an exotic fruit to pair with a strawberry. But go ahead, I see you unmuted your mic. You were going to say something?
No,
No?
you just caught my eye.
Oh, okay. We got strawberry and dragon fruit, and I think this lends a hand to a great mixer out there in the community. Skittles Ninja. That's one of the things in his God Milk that he did. He paired the strawberry and the dragon fruit. Phenomenal.
Yeah.
Fucking phenomenal.
Yeah.
So what are you thinking on this, folk art? Is the percentages on what you think you should pair these two at to kind of get like a base?
Well, if you just want to add a little more depth to your strawberry, I think the dragon fruit at around, you don't need to use it very high, around 1%. Just adds a little more juiciness, I think, to the strawberry.
I think it transforms it. Take some of the, like, depending on what type of strawberry you use it in. Like if you're using a Capella sweet strawberry, kind of takes those top notes off of that and kind of like just gives it more, like you said, like a more of a juicy type mouthfeel.
Yeah.
That strawberry. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I've also seen people use dragon fruit with cherry too, to help tone down some of that. Cherry is notorious. Cherry flavors are notorious for being like kind of medicine-y tasting.
Yeah, they're tough.
Yeah, and that dragon fruit kind of helps tone that down just a bit. But I've yet to try a really good cherry. That's why we're not covering cherries today.
Well, I mean, to me personally, I think like with the cherries that we have available to us out there in the community, and that's the thing, guys. For the mixers out there, it's like we have to use what we get from these manufacturers. You know what I mean? And some of them are tough, but I tell you what, like we keep moving forward, and these manufacturers keep pumping out flavors left and right, which is great for us because it keeps giving us more options. To me, cherry, it pairs good with vanilla. Like if you get like more like deeper flavors, like a custom, just a real like deep mouthfeel flavors. Cherry can kind of sneak it in there. You know what I mean? I think there was a recipe out there, not to get off topic. There was a recipe out there, I think, from Chemist one time. He mixed I think it was I&W cherry, and he coupled it with two other fruits. I think it might have been watermelon and something else, and it's pretty phenomenal. And I think they were all Inuera flavors. But I think cherry pairs well with like an apricot, maybe like a citrus, peaches, maybe some type of vanillas and stuff like that. You could probably sneak those in there. But cherry is a tough flavor. It's a flavor to pair with.
So I was just going to comment on something that Shindo said in the chat here. He said you consider strawberry and dragon fruit a pairing. I don't necessarily call it a pairing. I mean to say that when you pair those two flavors up together, it creates a richer strawberry. So it's not really taking two flavors and pairing them up. It's just trying to make a better strawberry.
Yeah, it kind of bends it though. It kind of takes some of the sharpness off, so it makes it more juicy.
That would be Black Mama. Go ahead.
So I know that you guys said that I know that you said, Folk Art, that most cherry flavors taste kind of like medicine-y.
Mm-hmm.
What cherry flavors do you recommend?
The best one that I've tried is Inuera cherries. Now there's an Inuera cherry, and there's a couple Inuera cherry flavors, but Inuera cherries is the best that I've tried so far.
Okay.
Yeah.
And does that take away kind of like the medicine-y taste?
It still has a bit. I'm still actually working with it some. I've been chasing a cherry cheesecake for about a year and a half now, and hadn't quite got there because of the cherries. But as it stands now, that's the best one that I've tried so far, is the Inawera cherries. It still isn't quite right, and I've tried to pair dragon fruit with it to try to tone it down some, and it seems to help a little bit. I've tried adding a little bit of strawberry in there to kind of cut through the medicine taste, but I haven't got there yet.
Yeah.
Okay.
What about is there any Aussies out there in the chat tonight?
Any what?
Any Aussies out there? Any Australians out there?
Oh,
I think Simon was in there for a bit.
Yeah.
I wonder if Vape Train.
Luke's in here.
Luke's in there?
Yeah,
Luke, I know Luke, that's good because he could probably answer the question for Vape Train. I haven't really had a chance to. Steve said that's racist. Yeah, that's funny. So Luke, you could probably answer this. Vape Train. I haven't got a chance to really try any of their concentrates yet. Have you, Lewis? Any of their cherries any good?
No, I haven't tried cherries.
You haven't tried any of their cherries?
No.
Yeah, I think that's one of the flavor concentrates that's hit or miss for us in the DIY thing. It's tough. Really hate the new INW cherries. Lol. Yeah, I mean I feel you too. I can deal with it. I experimented with a couple cherries. I was messing with the FA Cola and putting cherry in it. It didn't work out too well, but that's another topic. So we got some cakes and frostings. What do you think about that, folk art, as far as the cakes and frostings?
Well,
yeah, go ahead.
My favorite go-to when it comes to a cake or some type of bakery like that is Flavor West Yellow Cake. It's hard to beat it. I know it has. I think it has sucralose. I mean, is it sucralose in it?
They Flavor West loads sugar and all their shit.
Yeah, and it tends to kind of gunk up your coils. And if you're afraid to vape sucralose, then don't go with that. But it's my go-to for any type of cake flavor. And it's as far as the frosting goes, I'm really liking the Wonder Flavors, the buttercream frosting. It's very nice. So you would use the I generally use the yellow cake anywhere from 2 to 3%, and then the frosting, the Wonder Flavors buttercream frosting is around 2%. It's a super concentrate, so you don't have to use it very high. They suggest using it anywhere from 2 to 4%, but you just kind of have to play around with it.
So okay, that's cool. So we got so moving on, we got Capella's Cinnamon Danish Swirl. You said with yellow cake.
Yeah,
maybe?
yeah. If you're doing like some type of a cinnamon roll or like a cinnamon Danish or anything like that, Cap's Cinnamon Danish Swirl is my go-to as well. I don't like to use it very high, and sometimes I only use it just if I'm wanting to add just cinnamon to something instead of using say like what is it, Flavora, a rich cinnamon. It's pretty strong. So if I just want just a hint of that cinnamon and it's going into a bakery, I grab the Cap Cinnamon Danish Swirl, use it at around 1%, and the Flavor West Yellow Cake at around 2 to 4%, something like that. And you have a real nice like a Danish swirl or cinnamon bun type base.
Yeah, but see, that's one thing though that I feel about cinnamon Danish swirl, CDS, is it can be dangerous in a mix though. You have to watch that when you're using that concentrate because it can easily overpower a mix depending on what percentage you use it at. So recommendations are exactly what Folk Art said is I would say 1% or lower, unless you're going for some type of pastry or some type of like donut or some type of like a bakery type of vape. because anything over 1%, that cinnamon Danish is going to freaking overtake that recipe, in my opinion. You know what I mean? Then moving on to like a watermelon, an apple, you know, Lorenz watermelon with an apple.
Yeah.
Nothing.
I haven't worked with watermelons that much. I'm not too fond of just like watermelon vapes, but I've tried to try to make an authentic watermelon, and I like LA watermelon, and I don't use a lot of LA flavorings. I use some of their I've used their cream cheese icing. I've used their cheesecake. But most of their flavors are just not very, very good that I've tried. Anyway,
they're just super strong. Like even their cheesecake, it reminds me of like it borderlines not cinnamon Danish swirl, but it borderlines that thing where if you use like a real high percentage of like Lorenz cheesecake, or I'm sorry, cream cheese icing, it just
it's you get a lot of dirty sock taste in it.
Super strong.
Yeah, but the LA watermelon, I think it's pretty spot on. It's a little candy. It's like a candied kind of a watermelon though. But if you add a little bit of apple, like say like a FA Fuji apple to it, it turns that kind of candy sweet watermelon flavor into a kind of a texture. It adds texture to that watermelon. So like when you bite into a piece of watermelon, you know, you get that texture in your mouth. So that apple adds that, and it also adds a little bit of juiciness to it. So, you know, you could use LA watermelon like around maybe 2% because it's a pretty strong flavor. In fact, you may not even want to use it that high. But say like LA watermelon, and I say LA, I mean Loran watermelon at 2%, and FA Fuji apple at about 1%. And that apple will give just a little bit of crispness to the watermelon and make it a little more authentic. You can also add a little bit of melon to the mix to give it, if you want to add a little bit of rind flavor to it, to make it a little more authentic. But
yeah. So Black Mamba. So what do you think about some of the flavor pairings that we were talking about so far? You know, to kind of get you to get more involved and in depth in some of the recipes that you're trying to create.
So one of the flavor pairings that you guys had mentioned was the second to last one, the cinnamon Danish you had mentioned.
Yes.
What cinnamon flavors in that, I guess, in the recipe do you that you would say stay away from? Because with me, I'm kind of like a very picky vapor. So like I'm coming from straight up buying juice out of a shop, and I'm trying to get totally rid of that. I'm trying to.
Well, I could say one thing though, as far as buying juice in a shop, whether it be premium commercial juice from like a big juice company like Cutwood or whoever out there that's on the market, or if it's just like in-house juice. Me personally, I think that a lot of the commercial juice out there that you buy in a vape shop, dude, unless it's from like a you know, like a small batch type of commercial mixer or something like that, it's so freaking loaded with sweetener though. You know what I mean? And and you'll notice this once you start mixing your own recipes. You're going to tend not to use sweetener because you're going to that sweetener to me covers up a lot of the layers in a recipe. It really does. You know, it covers up the mistakes. It covers up the, you know, it's hard to pick out the layers when you're, you know, I was going to do a clone for, what was it, Candy King? It was their bubblegum watermelon, whatever, for remix month. And then I just bought it on a whim and I tasted it. And it was just so disgusting. I'm sorry. I was like, I'm not even going to put this off. It was just, it had so much sucralose saccharin taste in it. It literally stayed in my RDA for like a fucking week, and I couldn't take it. But as far as like the cinnamon Danish swirl and stuff like that, to me, and Folk Art could probably add to this, me personally, and that's the thing, you're going to have to go out there and try to pair certain flavors together, especially fruits and stuff like that, to see what your palate enjoys. You know, what I might think is just like phenomenal, you might think it's total shit. So, you know, going in there and experimenting on what you think that's going to be a good combination for your palate, you know, what's going to work for you, that at the end of the day, that's what's going to work for you. But for me personally, if I'm using cinnamon Danish swirl, it's one of those flavors where you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. Because for me out there, until Slavora, like with their cinnamon crunch, you know, stuff like that, until like those type of flavors came out, to kind of get that authentic cinnamon that you were looking for in a pastry, you kind of had to use that, in my opinion. If I was to use like cinnamon Ceylon and a couple other cinnamons out there, I kind of got like Red Hots, like a Red Hot candy. I wasn't really getting the authentic cinnamon flavor, especially like in bakeries, because I'm a bakery type of dude. Like if I was doing like an apple pie or something like that and I wanted to get that subtle cinnamon, I would use that at a lower percentage. Even though you would have that Danish type, that acetylprizine type back note in that, it will complement those. Now, you're not going to want to use like cinnamon Danish swirl. Me personally, I wouldn't kind of use it outside of a bakery. You know what I mean? I wouldn't try to like mix like a freaking watermelon or like peach or something with it, because it would kind of collide and it won't pair well. Like, you know what I mean? You're not going to get that pairing well with it. But that's just me personally. Like I would only use that type of flavor in a bakery. Like folk art, like how would you feel about using that in a recipe? You know, cinnamon Danish swirl, like even like a donut, if you're doing like a Zapala or you're doing some type of donut, you want to get that subtle cinnamon flavor, you know, throw a little bit in there.
I think in one of my recipes, my sweet potato pie recipe, I used, I think it was 0.75% cinnamon Danish capped cinnamon Danish swirl, and it actually could have been toned down just a little bit more, I think, to maybe 0.65 or 0.5%. Because if you add too much of that, it will kind of take over a recipe. Now, I'm not a real big fan of cinnamon vapes, and a lot of people are not fans of cinnamon vapes. It's just it tastes, you know, like you say, it tastes too much like Red Hots. But if you use just small amounts, small percentages, just to add just a little bit of bakery, a little bit of cinnamon, and that's where the capped cinnamon Danish swirl comes in. I think it really helps to bolster a donut, a cinnamon Danish, maybe even a cinnamon. Maybe you're making a pie that has cinnamon in it, and you want to add just a little bit of that pastry with that cinnamon. That's something that you could use. I mean, there's other ones out there. There's Zapola. Zapola is good. It's more of like a donut, I think, but
like a fried dough.
Yeah,
fried donut.
Yeah, but that's the part where the experimentation comes in, and what you're comfortable with, what your tastes are, what your preferences are, and this is just suggestions just to get somebody started. It's just a starting point. You know, once you start buying these flavors and start mixing it yourself, you'll be able to tell where maybe the cinnamon's too high. You want to drop that out. Maybe you don't even want to use that at all. Maybe you don't want that pastry or that Danish part in there. You just want the cinnamon. Then you may want to go over to, like, say, the Flavora rich cinnamon. Just a touch of it if you're making some type of a cinnamon coffee or something like that.
Yeah.
So yeah,
it depends. Yeah, it just basically depends on what. At the end of the day, it depends on what type of profile you're going after. And Steam Room made a good comment in the chat that cinnamon Danish swirl pairs very well with apple. It does.
Yeah, it does.
It does. I like me personally, just off the top of my head, I would do cinnamon Danish. And this is high, but this is just like a two flavor recipe. I would probably do, say, cinnamon Danish swirl. Version 1. Now they got version 2. I honestly think version 2, I think, is more in your face than version 1, even like, but version 1, I would probably do like an 8% cinnamon Danish swirl and do Fuji apple at like 6%, or I'm sorry, cinnamon Danish swirl at like 6% and Fuji apple at 4%. Those two together, you kind of get like an apple, not an apple pie, but it's more like an apple turnover or something like that. Those two together,
like an apple fritter or something.
Yeah, those two together are really good.
Yeah.
Apple pairs very, very well with cinnamon.
Absolutely.
Did we lose David?
I think he just muted his video there for a minute.
Yeah, I just muted my video for a second. Sorry about that. But I mean that's pretty much it for today. But before we talked to Black Mamba a little bit to kind of get to know him a little bit better, because he's going to be joining us in the future on our future episodes. Like some of the things that I really like to pair together, because I'm a bakery guy and I like bakeries and I like custards. I really like to pair creams together. Creams to me are beautiful in the mix. I mean, you got meringue, you got Capella sweet cream, you got TPA Bavarian cream. I mean, all those creams out there that we have at our disposal in mixing, I think are just beautiful, and I love them together. I really love, me personally, and maybe Folkar can touch on some of the things that he really likes to pair together. But me personally, I like to compare, I like to combine TFA, TFA Bavarian cream and Capella sweet cream. I love those two together. Like a TPA or a TPA TFA, same thing. TFA, I call it TFA, sorry, but TFA Bavarian cream at like maybe a 3%, coupled with Capella sweet cream at like 2.5%. Those two together are just fucking beautiful together. I love those two creams.
Yeah.
And like if you're doing cereal vapes and stuff like that, a shout out goes to Adam, the chemist, for his work on this. I know a lot of people ask about milky undertones from one-on-one flavors. Just to get like the milky undertones, you have your fresh cream, your Vienna cream, and your sweetener together. You pair those three together and you get a beautiful, milky undertone. If you're using like say fresh cream at like a 2%, a Vienna cream at like 1%, and like a sweetener, like a TFA sweetener at like 0.5%, you couple those together, you got yourself a nice, beautiful, milky undertone flavor. If you're going to use that for like a cereal or, any type of milky base that you need, like it can work with anything. It's just, pairing those flavors together to create something that's extraordinary. Like folk art, what are some of the I mean, like me, I like custards. I can go on forever. But folk art, what do you like pairing together as far as some of the flavors that you have in your arsenal? As far as pairing stuff.
Well, here recently, I've been working on some milks. See, next Monday, I believe it is. Noted is going to be talking about milk, and yes. So I've started experimenting with some milk bases, and yes. I've been pairing. What was it? It was just let me see if I can find it.
Malted milk.
Actually, I was using meringue what was it? TFA meringue at 3% and Cap's French vanilla at 1%.
God, that's blasphemy, dude.
What?
Dude, there's nothing better than Flavor Art meringue. I'm sorry.
Well, I like the TFA meringue.
I'm kidding. I won't still.
So, if you guys don't mind me interrupting real quick,
yeah.
What is your,
Please.
If coming from a brand new DIYer, what is your got to have?
That's Vienna cream and fresh cream.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, geez, that's a must-have.
Well, there's several cream type flavorings out there that are must-haves, and I suggest if you're looking to build some type of a cream base, I would always reach for TFA Vanilla Bean Ice Cream. That and FA Cream Fresh and Bavarian Cream.
Yeah.
Now, not all, maybe not all together. But those three flavorings is you can do a lot with those three flavorings, especially if you. Go
I
ahead.
really like vanilla whipped cream by Capello.
Yeah,
Yeah. The recipe, because that's what I was going to add to that. I was going to say Bavarian cream. I was going to say Capello's whipped cream. I really enjoy those two.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, but those are kind of like my must-haves, and
Yeah.
I mean, there's different manufacturers for different scenarios, but a must-have for me is if it was one choice, it would be Bavarian cream by TFA.
Yeah.
TPA.
Okay. And there's a lot of people out there that really like this flavor. I haven't tested that much, but a lot of people have said that if you're looking for like a milk base, the one-on-one milky undertones is like that's all you need. That's what I've been told. I've used it a couple times, but that's a good one to get to.
Like I said, going back to what I said though, on what Chemist said, if there's certain parts that people can't get a hold of it.
Yeah.
If you couple that fresh that Flavor Arts fresh cream, Vienna cream, and a little bit of sweetener, you kind of get the same effect from it.
Exactly.
And it really works.
There's one very interesting, because it will be hard for you to tell it. It is Tres Leches from Flavor West.
That's a caramel, dude. That's a caramel. Come on. That's a caramel. But anyhow,
I don't like it. I don't even like it.
But enough of us ranting on about some of the flavor pairings that we like and we enjoy, Black Mamba. But real quick, shout out to you for coming on at last minute today. I really appreciate it. That's freaking awesome of you. It's very nice to meet you. So your take on what you heard today and what we talked about. I know some of it might have been foreign, like what are these guys talking about? Like what are some of the questions that you feel that you might have, like whether it be from talking about the cakes, the frostings, the strawberries, dragon fruits, the custards, butterscotches. If you want to get into more, intricate pairings, I can for like a couple minutes. But like, do you have any other questions before I start maybe going into that before we get out of here today?
No, I'd like to thank you guys for having me. First off, some things were a little bit foreign, like different names of different names of flavor profile, I guess, businesses or
there's it can get confusing because the Flavor Apprentice is one company, and that's TFA, but they also call themselves TPA. But it's the same company. Capella is a company. Inawera is a company. What was some of the others?
Flavor Art,
Flavora.
Flavor
Art. You said LA.
We'll shoot a list over to you, Black, on some of the stuff. But real quick, just about some of the flavoring pairings that, just to blow through some of them, banana. Like I think banana pairs well with caramel. It pairs well with a chocolate. It pairs well with a coffee. Maybe even a rum.
Pairs well with cinnamon.
Yeah, ginger, like maybe even a hazelnut, honey, like mangoes, even mangoes. You could probably pair banana well with a mango. Blackberry, for instance, you could probably pair that well. Off the top of my head, apricot. I know it sounds kind of goofy. Like maybe you could pair like a blackberry with like a black pepper, champagne, cinnamon, citrus, hazelnut. I mean, there's a and that's the thing. You can go online, and then this is just as a reference. Vaping is kind of like a cuisine, like kind of cooking, but not really. You could probably go on some of the things and kind of get like an idea on food pairings. On like it kind of doesn't really transfer into like vaping, but it kind of gives you an idea on like some of the stuff that's going to pair well together. But I mean, it's just common sense, like just like everyday eating and stuff like that. What pairs good with orange cream? What do you think about when you think of orange cream? You think of an orange cream lifesaver. You know what I mean? Like stuff like that. You know what I mean? Same thing with like caramel or like butter pecan. What does butter pecan? You think of like a butter pecan ice cream. You know what I mean? That's the kind of stuff that we're talking about. What's going to pair well together. But real quick, Steam Room, I see he just came in the house. What's up, my brother? How you doing?
Welcome.
How you guys doing? I felt better, so I was like, forget it. I'm going to jump in.
Awesome. Awesome. So what's new, my man?
Not much. Grooming this guy down here. Thank you guys for hazing him a little bit. You could be giving him a little bit of a rougher time, you know.
Nah.
We'll go easy on him.
We try to help everybody out, you know. So real quick before we get out of here, Steam, I'm sure Black Mamba might have a few more questions before we go. I don't mind running the show a little bit later because we got two special guests on today.
Last time I got called special, I was in a social services office.
Hey, we took a 3-week break there, man. We were out of the loop for a while. But what are some of your favorite pairings? I know that I really enjoyed your cereal vape that you came out with. I enjoyed that, But what are some of your pairings that you really enjoy together in a vape?
I mean, you guys covered a lot of my favorites. Actually, I'm a dessert guy too, but lately I've been getting into a little bit more of the not so normal. I'm starting to get into star fruit and jackfruit and sour sop and pink guava I love pink guava from Flavora. It's like I use that shit in everything. Are we allowed to curse on this channel?
Yeah. Speaking of star fruit, are you
fuck no?
Oh shit!
Are you talking Wonder Flavor star fruit or?
Yeah.
Okay. I smelled it. What do you think of it? I didn't flavor test it yet.
I've only used it in like one recipe so far. I like it. It's different. Yeah. It's different.
Yeah. Okay.
But I'm also like a Litzy fan. I really like Capella's Sweet Litzy.
Yeah. Okay.
That's kind of actually. Let me show you.
While he's getting, I don't know if he.
This is how much I love Sweet Litzy.
Holy crap!
Sweet lychee pairs perfect with the kiwi.
Yeah. Oh yeah. What is it? It's like a grape. There's some berries in there. I don't know. Everybody gets something different off of Sweet Litzy. But it's a bunch of fruits to me. I love it. I mean, I can just mix that at 5% and vape it. I'm happy.
Does it have like a pineapple feel to it?
I do get a pineapple. Yeah.
Well, that's another. I
don't know Capella's, but TPA is pretty authentic.
TPS, yeah. Well, I mean, that's another thing. Is as far as like tropical fruits, I don't know if that's considered a tropical fruit.
Chinese. Yeah.
Chinese. Yeah. Well, it's kind of tropical, I guess. But
it's fine.
I think that's another flavor. I think that's looked over for pairing that works well with a lot of flavors. Is coconut. We did discuss that, but the coconut really works well with a lot of stuff. I mean, Christ, it works with nuts, it works with citruses, it works with chocolates, it works with pineapples, tropical fruits.
Cookies.
You can complement a cream or any type of recipe to take stuff. Yeah, I mean, cooking. That's another flavor, Black Mamba, that you might want to look into getting is like a coconut flavor or something like that to kind of like. Complement other flavors in your arsenal and stuff like that. So, but getting back to the lychee, I'm assuming since you have such a big 32-ounce gallon fucking vat of that shit, are you developing some kind of kick-ass recipe with that or what? Because I know I'm gonna have to mix it up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I'm working on a few releases for one shots with it. Not a lot of people out there are doing it commercially with Litzy now. Very, very few. I try to stay in that range. That's why I jumped on Huckleberry really early on in my mixing because everybody was like, that shit's gross. It's disgusting. I'm like, fuck that. I'm gonna figure a way how to use it. You know what I mean? People are like TFA maraschino cherry. Yuck. I'm like, no, dude, that shit works.
Well, speaking of cherries, talk about cherries. Out of all the cherries that you have tried, how do you enjoy that flavor? I'm
with Folk Art all day, man. Inaware cherries is where it's at, bro.
Yeah,
it's good. Yeah, that's one of my favorites out of the cherries. What about you, Black Mamba? I know that you said that you haven't really worked with too many fruits. You're more of a bakery type of dude. Real quick though, have you developed any type of recipes yet from from being a new mixer or anything like that you want to talk about?
Yes, I have developed
He's
one
got
recipe.
a very
and
racist
it's still in.
Say the name.
It's still in the work. It's called Wildemel.
Okay, what's that all about?
It's still in the works. It's a watermelon pineapple smoothie. So I'm trying to get everything down packed with it. I've been getting some good feedback from Steam over here about the flavor. So,
did you release the recipe yet, or is it still in the making?
No, not yet. It's still in the making.
I haven't got him to make an ATF account yet.
You want to break your cherry and talk about it at all, or maybe like what do you got going on in there? Or is it kind of like one of those private things that you don't want to share?
Really, I mixed up 10 ml bottle of it.
Okay.
Let me see if I can find it in my notes real quick. I have a FA Red Summer. I haven't gotten percentages or anything down yet.
Okay.
But it's a FA Red Summer. It's a FA Pineapple. It's a FA Lime.
I love
what is
lime.
That? Tahiti distilled.
Oh,
and,
fuck yeah, dude. That's a good flavor, man.
Yeah.
And another FA Lime Tahiti cold pressed.
Yes. That's another flavor we didn't talk about as far as pairing with is lime. I really enjoy lime. I know this show's going on forever, but having Steam on here.
No big deal. No big deal.
Black Mamba, it's awesome. But yeah, limes, I really enjoy limes. They are so good. As far as like all the lemons out there, I enjoy lemons. I like FA Sicily lemon, but the FA limes, I think they got those right. I really enjoy those two flavors. Now, is it those four? It's just a red summer pineapple, FA, the two limes.
Yep.
That you have going on. That's awesome, dude. I mean, yeah. Once you release this recipe or once whatever, maybe we could talk offline about it. I'd really like to mix it up and try it out. Yeah. I'd like to see how well that lime. I'm assuming that the you want to call it the acid pH from the limes kind of really works well with the red summer, the watermelon.
Yeah, because you know how red summer is really sweet. It gives kind of like a little bit of a bitterness aftertaste to it.
Yeah. I'd like to see how well that those pair together. That's kind of a weird combination. I'd like to really vape that to try it out. Watermelon and pineapple. You know what I mean? I'd like to see if that pineapple really shines through. I got to see the percentages though, but awesome. Any questions you got since Steam's here? He's kind of like the guru.
Whoa, no.
He's the guru.
I just mix things I like, man.
Any questions that you have as far as new mixing, anything that you feel that you're kind of stumped on, that you feel that maybe, I'm kind of not really getting this. Maybe, I'd like to ask somebody, now's the time to ask, if you have any questions about percentages, about flavor pairings, about anything, just feel free to just shout out some questions, man, and we'll answer them for you right now, man. You know what I mean?
I'm trying to help Corey out in the chat here. I'm bouncing back and forth. I think DIY Vapor Supply is the only place he can order, I think. So he's looking for Milky Undertone. And they have it listed as Milky Undertone VG, but when it comes to the PG version, it says Cream Milky PG. So I'm guessing it's the same thing.
Well, you can't buy it off just one-on-one?
I don't know where Corey's located at.
Oh.
He's in the chat. I was trying to help him out.
I think he might be in Canada. I might be wrong though. But I think one-on-one, you can order it straight from one-on-one. You know what?
Have you tried DIY Flavor Shack?
It's I know it's weird, but try Amazon. Because I know Amazon.
No, not for one-on-one. I doubt it.
I'm telling you. Somebody bought something from Amazon one time.
He's in New York, dude. Order it from Bull City or order it from I don't know if Bull City carries it right now. Do they carry Milky Undertone yet?
I don't think so. I know I got mine straight from, I think it was one-on-one. I know you could buy from, I think you could buy it from Amazon, but you're probably going to pay out the ass.
There's a lot of sites now that are carrying the Milky Undertone.
DIY, I think DIY Vapor Supply carries it. You can order it straight from one-on-one. I don't know. I don't know. I can go online right now and see if Bull City carries it. They might carry it.
That's Bay, man. Whenever I'm looking for like a milky undertone, obviously it's a great name. But anytime I'm looking for that, it fits perfectly in a recipe. Right around 1.5 2% works perfect.
Yeah. So
if they are selling milky undertone at Bull City, they need to update my community recipe pack because I still have subs in there because they weren't selling it at the time.
Oh, okay. Yeah. What's that? Tony's Revenge.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why aren't you? Don't you have you have that release? Don't you? Is it a line somewhere? And is it in Canada?
Oh yeah, in Canada with MXR.
Yeah.
With Adam, with Copel, Adam, and Jennifer Jarvis.
Did you ever try lychee with like a citrus or vanilla or anything like that? Like, what do you?
Vanilla, yes. I've made some ice creams, some really nice ice creams.
Okay. What about a ginger? You ever tried ginger?
I have not tried it with ginger.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Have you tried the TPA version?
With what?
Have you tried the TPA version?
Of Sweet Lychee?
Yeah.
No.
I think the TPA called Juicy Lychee, I think.
That sounds TFA.
Yeah.
Yeah. They both do juicies.
Cincinnati King. He was asking you about what comes close to creamy undertones, and going back to what I was talking about was the fresh cream, Vienna cream, and a sweetener.
Yep.
If you use the fresh cream at like 2%, Vienna cream at 1%, and a sweetener, you're kind of close. I mean, it's not spot on, but it's pretty there. If you can't source it, like if you're out of the country or something like that, and you can't pick up one-on-one, that's about the closest you're going to get. And like I said, shout out goes to Adam, a chemist, for that. It's a 215. Just kind of like get that in your brain. 1.5, 2% fresh cream, 1% Vienna cream, and 5% like a sweetener, and you'll get very close to that.
0.5 or 5%.
0.5. No, 0.5 sweetener. You don't want 5%.
I thought you said 5%.
And I'm assuming he meant TFA sweetener. You don't want to use Capella's super sweet or anything like that, or anything like that. You don't want to put that in there. But what flavors that are appealing to you, Black Mamba, that you really enjoy, that you think that you in the future that you might use?
Grape.
You say grape?
I'm sorry, you guys aren't privy to our conversations like outside of all this. I mean, I pick on that man all the time, dude.
That's all right.
I'm definitely gonna be using the wild strawberry. I think you said that it was from TFA, I believe.
Wild strawberry?
Ripe strawberry.
Okay, ripe strawberry. Strawberry ripe. There we go. Some other flavors. Stereotypical. Here it comes.
Oh,
watermelon.
Stop.
I've actually gotten to a point now where I almost recommend Flavor Art Juicy Strawberry over Strawberry Ripe.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't like it. Me personally, I don't
very,
like
very good.
I don't like TFA ripe strawberry at all. I'm sorry, I don't like it.
You should try Juicy Strawberry.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. I enjoy it.
Wonder Flavors actually has a pretty decent one too. It's fresh strawberries.
I've had one of their strawberries.
I know one of them is not too good. I think it's. I don't remember. I don't want to put a name out there, but I think it's strawberries and cream. I'm not too sure.
Let me see what
I tried another one from them, and it was just kind of bland.
Yeah, the real flavors, I believe it's sweet strawberry is pretty good too. If you're looking for a strawberry that doesn't fade, that's a good one. The super concentrate, not the legacy.
It stands up the test of time there.
Okay, another really good flavor was the I believe you said TFA Bavarian cream.
Yes, I love that.
Yes, very good.
That's a gotta have.
Yeah, you got it. That's a staple there, buddy.
At the beginning of this series, we posted a list of 25 flavors that the new mixer should should start with.
Yes.
Yeah. And I can get you that list, Black Mama, if you want me to. It's just
Sure.
it's just 25 flavorings that are good to have in your arsenal. There's many more that somebody would need if they really want to develop more complex profiles. But it's just a place to start.
In time, you'll reach to 250.
Yeah.
So, real quick, have you guys ever tried the succulent strawberry by OS DIY yet?
I haven't.
The succulent strawberry. I heard that's really good. I haven't bit the bullet and have tried that yet. But I've heard good things about that. I'm gonna have to give it a try. Me personally, though, and I'm gonna throw this out there. I really like real flavor strawberry. That's a good flavor. I think it lasts long, and I really enjoy. I know there's a few people out there in the community that feel that it's like a strawberry icing. I love Anywhere's shisha strawberry. I fucking love it. A lot of people get green stem from it, but I do. But I just it's such a bold, full flavored, just strawberry to me. I really I enjoy that flavor. I really do. But like I said, everybody has their favorites. Speaking of strawberries, Capella's sweet strawberry, that's another Black Mamba. I know it fades, and you're going to hear about this a lot in the community and a lot of DIY mixers that Capella's sweet strawberry fades. But I'm telling you what, though, it's a phenomenal strawberry. It really is. It's probably one of the top, if not the best strawberries out there. But it does fade, but it's a very good concentrate to get. It's one of those ones that it's a must-have. I don't know if you have it in your arsenal yet, but it's one of those concentrates that you're definitely going to want to pick up because it's very versatile. You know what I mean? You can use that in a lot of recipes. And going back to the dragon fruit, pair it with the dragon fruit. You know what I mean? Beautiful. Beautiful.
Black Mamba, I was wanting to ask you a question. Have you done any single flavor testing yet of your flavors?
No.
Okay, because that is something that is very important when you're developing recipes for yourself. If you're mixing up other people's recipes, there's no need to really do that, and that's perfectly fine if a DIYer wants to just do mix other people's recipes just to have something good to vape. But when you start developing your own recipes, you really need to start single flavor testing your flavors so that you personally know what that flavor tastes like. If you don't do that, then it's more of just you're kind of guessing what's going to make this certain flavor. Just mix up just a small 5 mil or a 10 mil of your flavorings and just vape on it and just write down what you taste, and that will help you understand your flavorings. And plus, if you write it down, you can refer back to it. That helps. That helps a developer. That you have to do that. And there's a lot of flavor notes out there on flavors that you can read, and it's very, very helpful. Concrete River has done some awesome flavor notes, but it really doesn't hit home unless you taste that single flavor yourself. That's going to help you more than anything.
Yeah, and I think another good thing to remember is to not forget about your notes. You know what I mean? Like, so if you have a 5 mil, label that sucker, put it up, taste it day 1, but then come back to it day 7, come back to it day 14, because it changes. The molecules in the flavoring are going to change over time. So make sure you have updated notes in segments. I like to go to about a month, but sometimes for creams and for deeper flavors like custard, you're gonna want to do 2 months because those change drastically over time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's one thing too that to really to talk about what Folk Art and Steam Room talked about too is everybody's palate's different. I'm not saying that Concrete River's his fucking notes are phenomenal. They are great, but you have to look at it as what I could tell you all day what a fucking banana tastes like or something, or a strawberry, but until you actually taste that flavor for yourself, you're not going to know how it's going to work in a recipe. And basically all you're going to do is you're just going to sit there and buy that concentrate and you're going to fucking waste it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It takes 5 seconds to mix up a 5 mil at like 2-3% or something like that to get kind of like the how's it hitting on your palate? You know what I mean? Because like for instance, me and Lewis, we don't agree on cake batter. I fucking hate cake batter. He loves it. He fucking loves it. I can't.
I love it too.
I mean, I like it. I like it at like 0.2. I like it at like 0.25. Anything over that, I taste it in a recipe. Whereas Lewis, he might not taste it at a 2.5, or Folk Art or Steam, he might not taste it at a 2.5, but I do. But you might not taste it until you hit like fucking 2% the recipe. You know, it's all about getting to where it's comfortable for you. You're making these recipes for you. Now, granted, when you start releasing recipes, people might critique them and people might say, oh, this is shit. But you know what? At the end of the day, bro, you made that recipe for you. It tastes fucking good for you. You know, and that's all about what flavor, you know, doing, you know, flavor notes is about. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's what makes you a good mixer. You know what I mean? But anyhow, so what else? Yep, VG1. I'm just looking at the chat. I really want to thank everybody in the chat. I see Lee's in there. I see DIY Down Under. Graham's in there. The Juice Reviewer. Steam Room was in there earlier talking shit to everybody. Jeffrey Dow. Corey was in there. Shout out to everybody that was in the chat. You know, make sure if you guys like this video, I know we went over a little bit today, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to our channel. Like I said, I really want to thank everybody for coming out today. Steam, thanks for coming out on the show today, representing DIY Mixers crew and bringing us to Black Mamba, for bringing him on board today. And shout out to Graham for, you know, giving me a quick heads up on it today. If you guys got anything else, you know, if you want to talk about anything, you have any more questions for us, Black Mamba, before we get out of here?
No, I think that was all.
Okay, cool. But before I do my outro, Folk Art, you want to talk about any of the links, any of the shows, upcoming shows noted? I know that we're going to be doing the milks and stuff like that.
Yeah. So about once a month now, we're doing a DMC challenge, and we just challenge people to take a certain profile and create a recipe. And we're kind of working with Noted and what their topics are going to be. And next Monday's topic is going to be milks. And so we thought that we would do a milk challenge. So we're putting it out there. You're going to have all the month of January to work on your recipe. Make sure you check out Noted and see what they're talking about with milks. Maybe it'll give you some ideas on how to use some of the flavorings. And
what day and time is that on, folk?
It's on Mondays at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were talking about vegetables, and I actually they come on so late for me, I can't watch it because I get up so early. And they said, what did they say? Veggie. I don't even know how the hell they said vegetables.
Vegetables or something. I don't know.
I don't know what. Whatever. But anyhow, yeah, we're gonna do milks. So yeah, that we're gonna be following them guys. What else we got?
Yeah, and when you come up with the recipe, if you'll just shoot that over to us in our Facebook group, I threw the link up in the chat there. I can do it again if you want me to, or you can post it in our Discord channel. Just send that to us, and we'll do our best to try to mix them up, and you know, give our thoughts on them. And you know, we put this out there just to challenge people. It seems like that some of these challenges kind of push people's minds and makes them, kind of forces them into creating recipes that they maybe wouldn't normally produce. So I think it helps the community, it helps the mixer, and you know, we try to shout out the people that put the work in on our shows. So
yeah, that was a good last. I didn't even release mine. It was shit.
I'm so tired of Fig.
Yeah, but anyhow, yeah. So yeah, check that out. That'll be on at 11 o'clock on Mondays. You said they're going to be talking about milks. Make sure you check us out on Sunday at 4:30 Eastern Standard Time when we talk about that. Also, make sure you check out the what is it? It's not. Is it the Stopgap Show now? He keeps changing the goddamn name on me.
I think it's still the Stopgap Show. It comes on after In the Mix on Thursdays.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think it's like around 11 p.m. and that's on a Thursday, right?
Yeah, it depends on how long the In the Mix podcast goes. So just after that is when they do it.
The Stopgap Show. Yeah, I checked out in the mix. I really enjoyed that episode. I won't get into the drama aspect of it, but it was a really good, solid show in the mix. Stopgap Show was fucking dynamite. But yeah, check all that stuff out, guys. Other than that, Steam Room, thank you so much for coming out today. Fucking awesome. Graham,
appreciate it.
Thanks for PMing me before we went on live, 30 minutes before we went live, to introduce us to Black Mamba. I think this is going to be absolutely fucking dynamite, him coming on here every week and us talking about recipes. I think going forward, we're going to really push you, Black Mamba, to really develop some recipes. Any questions you have for us, please make sure that you ask us. We'll be here for you. That's not a problem. Real quick, make sure if you guys, like I said, once again, make sure if you guys enjoy our content, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to our channel. As always, make sure you new mixers out there, make sure you take advantage of our discount codes we use every day. Use DMC6 for BullCityVapes.com. Get 6% off your total order. Liquid
Bull
Bar.
City Flavors.
Bull City Flavors.
For legal purposes, you cannot say Bull City.
I'm such a fucking old mixer. I keep saying Bull City Flavors all the time.
Joe would want me to interject there.
Jesus Christ. I always say that. That's because I've been ordering for them for freaking ever. I think since they opened up. But yeah, use code MixerScrew for 15% off at Liquid Barn. You get free shipping over $50. Yeah. Other than that, guys, that's all I got. Thanks for everybody for coming out and tuning in. Thanks to everybody in the chat.
I want to say one more thing. I would like to give Black Mamba some homework. Something that he could do to bring back and show us next Wednesday. I challenge you to take 5 of your flavorings and do a single flavor test on those 5 flavorings and write down notes on them. That's it.
Okay.
You think you can do that?
Yeah, of course.
Awesome. And,
also, can I jump in?
Yes.
Sure. Make sure you guys check out Juiced. It's going to be every Sunday now at 7:30 p.m. Ooh. It's going to be featuring Black Mamba, Paul, which is Labwork Vapes from down in Aussie, from down in Australia. But we're going to be encompassing more than DIY. We're going to be having some really special guests coming in the future. The Vaping Bogan is going to be on. Grim is going to be on. We're going to be having some exclusive hardware releases that are going to be announced on the show. We're going to be encompassing some of the tobacco legislation that will be impacting our industry. Mm-hmm. We're going to have some really cool shit coming up, in the next couple of months. We just got everything that we're getting. We got Health Cabin on board now as a sponsor. We're talking to Bull City, ESTX. We're talking to 101 and a couple of other companies. American Way Scales, which is probably the scale that we all use. I'm in discussions with them for sponsorship. So hopefully we'll be having some enormous giveaways coming soon. We're working out something similar to what we did for Christmas Mix with St. Jude, so that's going to be awesome. But we're going to be having a lot of gear come in for review, and every 3 months we're going to have a huge giveaway in the form of a charity. So it's going to be pretty dope.
Awesome. And you said that was 7 p.m. on
7:30 p.m. every Sunday.
Eastern
Standard Time. Yep.
Awesome.
That's important. I don't want people in Australia tuning in at like 3 a.m.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. You got Paul. I tell you what, that son of a bitch. If you want to get an advocate going and you know everything about legislation, that's the dude to have right there, boy.
Yeah.
Paul's a son of a bitch. He can sit there and talk law. He gets me lost. He got so much knowledge up there. You know what I mean? So kudos to you. I'm excited for that show. I can't wait to tune in for that.
Hell yeah, man. We'll have to feature some of you guys on there. I definitely want folk art. Definitely got to bring some of you guys on there. But I'm probably gonna send Graham over to, kind of kidnap you guys for a little while.
All right. Sounds good, man.
Hey, all right, guys. Hey, we'll see you next Wednesday at 4:30. I'm sorry. Why do I say 4:30? That's because it's our show on Sunday. 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Wednesdays, and make sure you check us out this Sunday at 4:30 p.m. Eastern. That's all I got, guys. Other than that, man, take care. See you next week.
See you later.
See you. Alligator.
Chuki beat.